In a significant move towards advancing Nigeria's education sector, the Minister of Education, Professor Tairu Mamman, has highlighted the importance of collaborative efforts between federal government and states. He made this known during a courtesy visit by Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo in Abuja earlier today. Professor Mamman emphasized the importance of the collaborative efforts to advance and reposition the education sector for the quickest socio-economic development of Nigeria.
Within the short period we have spent here, we've seen and heard from you the immense contributions you have done to turn around education in the state, and particularly focusing on the foundational aspect of education, where we need to get things right. The basic education and secondary schools, because if you don't get it right there, through numeracy, literacy, critical skills, infusion into that category of education, it's very difficult to remedy things at the tertiary level. And so we are delighted that we are on the same page on these matters. And we believe, knowing that that level of education is actually substantial part of it is the terrain of the states. But we are running a federal system. The Constitution makes it a concurrent matter. So we will continue to provide the policies to ensure that no state is left behind and no child of Nigeria is left without education, because for us leaders, leaving that category of people out of education is a very serious omission and abdication of our responsibility.
Speaking earlier, the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, sought a strategic partnership between the state, the federal government, and development partners for the advancement of public education, surpassing the standards set by private counterparts.
And so in Anambra, we're moving a revolution now to turn around the system so that the public schools will once again, the dry bones will rise. And public schools will be brought up and elevated, and our target is to make them smart, to become the models that these other categories will be looking up to them, so to speak. And the children of the poor can now have access to qualitative education. Education will then become the opportunity equalizer, the ladder of opportunity between the rich and the poor. And once you give the children of the poor qualitative education, then you break the dynasties of poverty. Therefore, the kind of educational system that will have to work and the kind of strategic partnership among all the key players, the federal government, especially the area, federal government is not just a regulator, it's also a major player from primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, but it's the premier regulatory institution in this sector, and then also the states, the private sector, the international community, and so on. This is one huge industry that is too important to be left to one player alone.
Soludo also emphasized that the cooperative effort would position Nigeria to create a smarter educational environment and drive socio-economic development.